Hello, everyone. It's Yolanda. How are you? Hope your Thanksgiving was wonderful. Okay, I had dinner. I cooked dinner at my granddaughter's house. It was great. It was fantastic with my great grandson. Yes, so that was wonderful. But today I want to talk about six top items that you can write off as a 1099 independent contractor. Yeah, there's a lot of myths and stuff going around that you can't write off stuff unless you're an LLC. Well, that's just simply not true. Okay, so I'm going to give you some information that's going to help you when you start your write-offs. Okay, remember, I talk about putting together a list of folders from January through December, or you can do quarterly, January, March, and then April, June, and then July, September, and then October, December. You can do four folders and then a general one, but you should have a mini office filing system set up for you and a little mobile um, carry all that you can find on my TikTok page. You'll find the link to that type of stuff in my link tree. I think I have also put that on here, so you can click and look at what you can buy it anywhere you want. You don't have to buy it from there. But my point is, get organized. It's the end of the year, and so this is the perfect time for this kind of conversation to happen. Okay, so here's some of the top six items that you can write off. This is a one of two videos, okay? Because there's 12 items that I recommend you um, take advantage of. First is home office. What do you write off as a home office? The most important information that the IRS cares about is that if you're going to write off a home office, that it's $5 per square foot, which means 300 square feet minimum. Maximum write off is $1,500. So you make sure that your tax guy is aware of this rule or policy or whatever you want to call it, because you can write off space in your home that you are using as an office. I have a little corner room in my living room, and I write it off. Okay, so the maximum write off will be $1,500 for 300 square feet. Most of you won't have that much, but you'll be able to write off a portion. Okay, and don't forget to write off all office supplies as part of your home office deductions. This includes computers, printers, any work related software that you have to purchase, that you download on your computer, pens, paper, postage, any shipping, if you mail anything. As long as you use these items for business purposes, the year you purchase them, you can write them off. Don't forget, this is I always talk about this. It's important that you keep these folders so that you keep all your receipts in there. And I know some of you just have them on your phone, and that's cool. But when it comes down to it, your tax guy, he may accept everything electronically. Mine did. So you can either make folders on your computer, tax folder, make a file folder, taxes 2024, and then um, receipts, and you put everything in there. You may not have everything electronically, but you can usually take a picture of it, scan it on your phone, and then deposit it in that file. Okay. So there's two ways of doing this. You can either do everything electronically, which is very cool, or you can just put every piece of paper, because remember, gas is a write off. So when you get your receipt, you need to put it in your folder, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Okay, so the first one was office, home office costs, which is a fabulous write off, okay, for everyone. The next one is Educational expenses. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is you had to take a HIPAA and bloodborne pathogens certification, get your certification. That's educational expenses. You can write that off. So make sure you get a receipt, get your receipt, put it in a folder, write that off. Anything that you use for your business is a write off, educational wise. Okay? So just save it. Save your receipts for those two classes. And then if you take more classes, if you do TWIC, if it's 125, that's another one. That's a certification. That's educational. So you want to write that off. Okay? The next one is business insurance premiums. Makes sense, doesn't it? You're using your vehicle as your biggest tool for your job. So your insurance should be a tax write off. So, according to the IRS, you can deduct business insurance if it's ordinary and normal for your business. These aren't just insurance types that are legally required either. Here are some examples, okay? General liability insurance. This can help protect you, your bodily injuries or property damage, okay? Professional liability insurance, also known as errors and omissions insurance. This type protects you from professional accusations, like somebody's trying to sue you for something. That's what errors and omissions insurance is all about. That's a tax write-off. Commercial property insurance protects your store or office space if you have that. If you don't, let's disregard. Commercial auto insurance, getting separate insurance for a commercial vehicle is tax deductible, but you can only claim commercial auto or gas mileage as a deduction. So you may want to do the math. Talk to your tax guy about that. And self-employed health insurance is also something that you can claim. Okay, these deductions will vary based on your industry, but because you're in the logistics industry, you're driving, you're delivering, that's your main way to run your business. Most of these are tax deductible. What's the next one? Car expenses. Duh. If you spend time going from job to job, which you do, making deliveries or other business tasks, sometimes your vehicle can feel like an office. Luckily, car expenses and mileage can be one of the largest tax write offs for you. The IRS standard mileage for tax deductions is typically about 65 to 70, 65 to 66 cents per mile. That was in 2023. We'll have to see what it is in 2024. Okay. The rules for calculating this are updated every year, so we'll find out what it is. But it is a tax deduction. Toll and parking expenses are also deductible. Yes. How about that? Keep your receipts. I always tell you, right? Keep your receipts. Stay organized. You cannot write off your car payment. Unfortunately, no. The IRS says no to writing off your car payment. If you're purchasing a car exclusively for business use, you can potentially deduct some expenses, but just be prepared for extra IRS scrutiny since 1099 workers rarely have any business only vehicle. And the reason they say that is because you're not just using it for business and parking it, you're using it for personal and business. So if it's business only and you're parking it at the end of the night somewhere, and you're not using it anymore, then it's business only. But they will audit you if you claim it to be that way. So just food for thought. The next item is cell phone and internet bills. Okay, if you have a cell phone or an internet connection and you use them both for business, you can write off a portion of your monthly internet and cell phone bill. Similar to your home office. Remember, we talked about that 300 square feet, you can write that off. You'll want to determine what percentage of your phone and online usage is business versus personal. You can then deduct that percentage. So, for instance, let's say you use your phone for business. You would say if you're working 8 hour days, 10 hour days, um, and you sleep 8 hours, that's 18. So you kind of will calculate, okay, I use my phone 70% of the time for business. Then you would write off 70% of your phone bill. Okay. Doesn't that make sense? Isn't that, I mean, that makes sense. Your internet, you use your internet for business. What percentage of time do you sit and work from your computer? What percentage? You'll use your maximum allowed percentage. Your tax guy should know what that is. So it's all about your tax person, and you can deduct this. You know what's going to happen? You're going to be able to mitigate a lot of those um, taxes that you don't pay throughout the year. Because remember, as a 1099, you are not being taxed on your work. You know, when they pay you for your services, if you made 1,000, you're getting 1,000. So you want to be able to be as organized as possible so you get all the deductions possible. Okay. So the next one is any bank fees and business interest. If you got a loan to fund your business, and most of you won't be doing this unless you're an LLC, you can deduct the interest, or you buy a vehicle, you buy a bigger vehicle, you can deduct that interest. If your loan was used for both business and personal, you need to track how much, excuse me. Um, you can also deduct business related banking fees and charges. For example, paying for replacement checks or monthly service charges and lost card fees. These charges, they add up. So you can write those off. Yeah, little things like that make a big difference. You may also write off the interest from a business credit card and any associate, like annual fees. Like if they charge you $50 for that card that you're using, that credit card, write that $50 off. You don't need to have a business credit card to deduct qualifying interest. Your tax guy should know this. So you want to be able to, when you get ready to go to your tax person as a 1099, write all these things down that I'm talking about. I've given you 6 items today. Write all these things down that you want to make sure he uses as deductions for your business. Your business as a 1099 independent contractor, you still are a business, even if you're not an LLC. Okay? Remember this. These are tips. We're getting towards that time of the year where it's very important that you have everything ready. So I recommend that you start if you've been working as a 1099 worker. I recommend that you start getting everything together at this point. If you haven't started working, you need to get yourself together for 2025. Make sure you get all your folders in order so that you can file everything at the end of your week. Um, and you keep all your receipts in order. You know what you can write off, so you have all that ready for your tax guy. You want to make it as simple as possible so that you don't have to search, under the couch, under the car seat, whatever, wherever for receipts. You want to have everything ready. Okay. So these are 6 big tips for your tax write offs at the end of this year for 2024 that you will use if you're a 1099 worker. Contrary to popular belief, 1099 workers can write off all these wonderful things, and there's more. And I'll give that to you in part 2 of this video. So make sure to subscribe and follow me. Hit the notification button so you will be notified when I post my next video, because I will be posting my next video on the next 6 tips very soon. Thank you for watching, and love.